Hello and welcome to History 1302, online from Mountain View College. My name is Professor Ryan Pettengill and I will be your instructor for the semester. The purpose of this video is to familiarize you with the expectations, the guidelines, and requirements for this course. So to that end, what I'm going to be doing is talking about the syllabus. Now we will toggle back and forth between the syllabus and Blackboard. So what I'd like you to do right now is kind of log into Blackboard so that you can have that open as I take you through that. I will refer to it frequently throughout the course of this lecture. The other thing I want you to do, if you've not already done so, is to download a copy of the syllabus. Now, once you are logged into Blackboard, what you're going to want to do is click on Information. On the left side of the screen, you'll see a tab called Information. Click it. And the first thing that ought to pop up is a link called Course Syllabus. Download a copy of the course syllabus so that you can follow along with me. And if you need to put me on pause, go ahead and do that right now and meet me back here in just a second. Okay, so the first thing I want to do with respect to the syllabus is talk to you about how you get in contact with me. Now, in an online course, I'm going to tell you the very biggest, most important issue is going to be communication, okay? Those people that tend to communicate best with me, those are the people that tend to do best in the class. Now, that being said, the best way that you can get a hold of me is by email, and I've listed my email address at the top of this syllabus. I do have a phone inside the office here on Mountain View's campus, and I've listed that as well. If you call it, I'm probably most times not going to answer it. I'm in and out of the office all the time, but if you leave me a voicemail, I will be sure to return your call, probably via email. It's going to be rare that I actually talk to you directly. But anyway, email is the best way to get a hold of me, and I check that address that I've listed there pretty religiously. My office, there is a physical office on campus that you can come to if you need to speak to me directly, and that would be W as in West 243, okay? Please make an appointment. I do hold office hours Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 until 9 in the morning, but it's best that you contact me directly and let me know exactly what time that you're going to be by so that I can make arrangements, okay? History 1302 is the second half of the U.S. survey, so we will go from 1877, and it is my hope that we get to 2010. That's where I typically like to end the course for a lot of different reasons, all of which you'll find out as we approach that time period in American history. But I'm very hopeful that you're going to get a lot out of this class, not simply memorization of useless facts and trivia, as much as a roadmap in terms of how we, as Americans, got to this point in American history. The old adage is those that don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And clearly, I think that by the end of the class that you'll understand exactly where people are going with that one. But the reason that I think that you're going to get so much out of this class is I don't approach it the way that, traditionalists tend to approach a class like this. There will be great people in the class. We will talk about people like Dwight Eisenhower and Jack Kennedy and Ronald Reagan and all these people that did really good things, really great things from the office of the presidency. But we're also going to talk about people that traditionally don't make their way into textbooks. We're going to talk about people at the grassroots level that are responsible for so much innovation, so much progress, so much change, for good, better, or worse, in American life. And I really think that that's what most of you are going to walk away from this class really understanding. At least that's my hope. Okay. I'm going to leave most of the reading of the syllabus, most of the finer points, up to you, but there are a few things that I'd like to emphasize, starting with the required material for reading. The required texts. Start out with James Henretta's America's History. Now, if you go to the Mountain View College bookstore, they are going to tell you that this thing is required, and technically it is, but it is a textbook, and the biggest problem that I have with textbook is that they're expensive. I don't exactly know what this thing is going for, but my guess is it's probably over $80. All right, that's a lot of money, or at least I consider it a lot of money. So if you're cheap like me, what you can do is rely on my lectures, okay? My lectures are essentially the textbook, okay? They're what I want you to get out of the class, at least from sort of like a this happened and this happened, this is a major player, and this is why this is a major player. All of that has been embedded in the class for you already. Now let me show you how you access that. So if you're still in Blackboard, I want you to go to the third link down, which is Content. Open up Content, and what you're going to find are two links. One is video lectures, the other would be PowerPoint presentations. There is a video lecture for every lecture that I would give you if we were meeting face-to-face. In other words, if you were taking my class on the campus of Mountain View, I would give you each and every one of these lectures. Because I'm going to do that through video lectures. So what you need to do is watch these video lectures in the order that you see them on the page in front of you. Open up Unit 1. There are two segmented society lectures, followed by the American response to industrial capitalism, followed by labor, politics, and class conflict. Watch these three lectures in the coming days. These would be the three lectures that I would give you if this class were meeting on campus on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday basis, okay? But if you watch the lectures in this class, understand that there are a corresponding PowerPoint to go with them. So if you go back to Content and open up the PowerPoint Presentations folder, you will see that there are three units. Open up Unit 1, and there's a segmented society lecture. Okay? If you open that up, you'll be able to follow along with my video lecture. And as a matter of fact, if you do this in front of a computer, you can actually take notes using the PowerPoint itself. Okay? Many of my previous students have found this to be a really effective way of keeping up with the information in the class. At any rate, what this means for you in textbooks is that you don't absolutely have to buy America's History unless you really want it. And I don't think it's a terrible idea that you buy it, but as I said, it is expensive, okay? A book that you do need to purchase as soon as possible, preferably, is Documents to Accompany America's History, which is put together by a guy named Kevin Fernland, and it's on sale at the Mountain View College bookstore for approximately $20. It could be a little bit more, it could be a little bit less, but at any rate, that's about what you should be paying for it, okay? The next two books would be Upton Sinclair's The Jungle and Timothy Tyson's Blood Done Sign My Name. Now, what you're going to want to do is get a copy of The Jungle as soon as possible. Now, you can buy the one over there at the bookstore, that's perfectly fine, or you can use the one that I've uploaded on Blackboard for you. Again, open up Information. Inside Information, you will see a folder called Online Texts. Open up Online Texts. What you're going to see is a copy, a PDF of The Jungle. You can download it, watch it on your tablet, read it on your phone. If you want to sit in front of a computer, if you can stand doing something like that, then you can read it in front of a computer. It doesn't really matter what copy, what edition, what the cover of your book looks like, as long as you get a copy of it, right? You can get it at half price, you can get it at Barnes & Noble. My guess is you can get it fairly cheap. If you don't go with the one in the bookstore, the only thing that's going to be different are going to be the page numbers. The page numbers are going to be slightly different, and you'll see why that will matter here in a few minutes, okay? But for the time being, let's go back to the syllabus. Those are the course readings that you're going to need to be familiar with. Now, the other thing that I really want to press upon you would be the course outline. That's going to start in the middle of page 3, okay? What you're going to see there is a week-by-week breakdown of not only what we're going to be doing, but important due dates. For instance, this week you need to complete at least Quiz 1, and you also need to complete at least Discussion Forum 1, okay? The due dates are very clearly outlined there, and I'll talk about this as we get to the course requirements, but typically everything is going to be due by, in other words, before 11:59 p.m. on the date that it's specified. So you'll have all day on the date that it's specified, okay? So familiarize yourself with the more important dates in the semester, the midterm date, the due date for paper 2, the due date for the final exam. All of those things are really going to be important in the coming days, okay? The last thing that I wanted to, not the last thing, but the next thing that I wanted to mention would be how you get the kind of grade that you want out of this class. Beginning on page 7, you will see evaluation procedures. And the best thing that you can do to maximize your performance in this class is participate in what I call the discussion forum, okay? Go back to Blackboard for a minute. You'll notice on the left-hand side there's a link called Discussions. If you open it, you will see the discussion forums that you're going to be responsible for this class. Now, for instance, this week you need to complete Discussion Forum 1. So what I'd like you to do is click on Discussion Forum 1. What you can do to participate is, first of all, read the question and then respond to it and start a new thread. So click Create Thread and throw in your 2 cents when it comes to answering this central question. Discussion Forum 1 is going to ask you to use at least 2 documents from your Documents for America's History book. And as long as you're clearly reading the assignments that I'm asking you to read, and as long as you're taking the question serious, typically I award full credit for every time that you post something on a forum by forum basis in the discussion forum. Okay? So anyway, that's the discussion forum. Please understand that it is mandatory. The quizzes, you will see 5 of them over the course of the semester. Each of them are going to be worth 3 percentage points of your cumulative grade. So click Quizzes, and what you're going to see are quizzes 1 through 5. Now, I should also point out that there are a little bit of supplemental materials. For example, in Quiz 3, there's a folder called World War I Propaganda Assignment. You'll need to take a look at that to complete Quiz 3. But anyway, typically what the quizzes are going to ask you to do is to take a look at a particular document in your Documents for America's History book, and then use that document to engage the central question. To complete these quizzes, I need you to click on the quiz. So for instance, this week you're going to need to complete Quiz 1. Click on Quiz 1. If you open it up, you can upload your answer in one of 2 ways. You can click Write Submission right there in the middle of the page, right? Click Write Submission and a box is going to pop up and you'll be able to type up your answer and submit it that way. That's fine if you want to attach your paper. That's also fine. Do it the same way that you would attach a Word document or a PDF to an email. It's very simple. Okay, it doesn't really matter to me as long as you do the quizzes by the due date that's specified in there. Okay, so 11:59 p.m. is the last time that you're going to have to upload that quiz. The papers would be the next most important assignment, and they are each going to be worth 10 percentage points of your grade. You're going to see 2 of them over the course of the semester. I've already uploaded the question prompts, the questions for papers 1 and 2, and you can have access to them right now. If you go down underneath toward the bottom there, it's a link called Paper Assignments. You're going to see that I've already uploaded the guidelines for papers 1 and papers 2, and in some cases you will see a folder called Paper 1 Resources. If you open up the Paper 1 Resources, you're going to see 4 links that are going to help you break down the jungle and generate ideas for what would be effective and what would be a good way to approach writing Paper 1. Okay, I encourage you to take advantage of these resources inside the Paper Assignments tab. Typically the students that do that are the students that tend to do better on these papers and in the class, generally speaking. Now, the next 2 requirements are both exams. You're going to see 1 midterm exam and 1 final exam, each of which are going to be worth 25% of your cumulative grade. The exams consist of a combination of multiple choice questions, short answer essay questions, and 1 long essay question. So to give you a better idea of exactly what I mean, I want you to click Exams in Blackboard. It's toward the bottom of that page on the left-hand side. You'll note that I've already uploaded the midterm review guide and the final exam review guide. You can use these review guides, study those terms that you see in the term bank. That's going to help you prepare for the multiple choice questions. You will see a variety of those short answer questions appear as they appear right now on the exam. And lastly, the long answer essay question will not change from now until the end of the semester. Okay, what you see right there in verbatim black and white is exactly what I'm going to ask you for the exam. So right now, on day 1, you can begin preparing for both the midterms and the final exams. Okay. That's the class in a nutshell. You're looking at my grading scale in the middle of page 8 there. Please understand I don't grade on a curve. If you get a 79, you probably should not expect that to translate into an A. Now, that being said, if you get a 79.555559, do I do something mean like give you a C? No, typically I'll round up. If you've been a dutiful student, if you've done most of what I've asked you to do, I'm typically going to pay it forward. But please understand that close enough is not good enough in this class. You should also be mindful of some late work policies in here. Please know that when the due date of a discussion forum or a quiz passes, it's going to turn into a 0. I don't have a late policy for quizzes or discussion forums. There is a late policy for late papers. For every day a paper is late, I will accept it, but please understand that every day that it is late, it's penalized 2.5 points. So if it's more than 4 days late or 4 days or more late, it's essentially worth nothing. Okay? Please familiarize yourself with the withdraw policy. The last date to withdraw from this class is specified at the bottom of page 8, so please be mindful of that. There are consequences for dropping this class. Please also familiarize yourself with what would happen if you were to drop this class. Lastly, at the bottom of page 9, I want you to be familiar with what academic honesty is, or maybe a better way of putting this would be academic dishonesty. Okay? What academic dishonesty is essentially plagiarism. And if you want to know what the college, what Mountain View considers to be academic dishonesty, you have access to that link there in the syllabus, and I encourage you to familiarize yourself with it. Okay? To help you become familiar with exactly what plagiarism is and how you can avoid committing it, I have incentivized it for you. There is an extra credit project that you can do if you go inside the information tab. You'll note that I have uploaded a recognized plagiarism assignment. Toward the bottom of that page there's a recognized plagiarism link that'll take you to Indiana University's website, and it will have you complete a quiz. If you complete the quiz, then upload the document, the certification, the certificate that it'll ask you if you want to print. Print it, scan it, or if you don't have a scanner, just kind of cut and paste or copy and paste it into a Word doc, and then upload that Word doc in the Dropbox that you see at the bottom of the page for the tab information. Okay? If you have individual questions about it, please feel free to let me know. But you can upload this inside the information tab. Now, the reason that I'm making such a big deal about this is that there are very strict penalties for people that commit plagiarism in my classes. What will happen if I catch you plagiarizing? At the very least, you will fail the assignment. The quiz, the paper, whatever the case is that you plagiarized, you will fail that assignment. If it's severe enough, I reserve the right to fail you for the course as a whole and possibly refer this to the Vice President of Instruction, who may or may not place you on academic suspension. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is not to scare anybody. I'm certainly not hoping to have anybody drop from the class. I just want us to very much all be on the same page with respect to what plagiarism is and what will happen to you if you commit it. So that's pretty much all I have for you in the way of acquainting you with the guidelines and expectations. If you have individual questions that I either didn't cover or I went through too quickly, please don't hesitate to let me know. Be glad to answer them on an individual basis. Email them to me. Or if you happen to be around town, drop by and see me. Okay? Anyway, I wish you all a very productive start to the beginning of your semester. I'm really looking forward to working with all of you. I want you to get the most out of this class. I really want this class to help your overall GPA. As I said in the beginning, it's really, the ball is in your court when it comes to doing well. I've provided most, if not all, of the resources for doing well, and now it's up to you to make the most of those resources. So if you wear eyeglasses, hopefully they're polished up and you're able to read. If you're using a pencil, hopefully that pencil's really sharp so you can take some good notes. Let's hit the ground running. Let's make this be a productive semester. I'll talk to you in the not-so-distant future. Have a very good day.